Hey guys, we have a new podcast, and the name of that podcast is The Thirds of a Tale Movie Reviews, but the LMO way. And so our first review is Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. So the story is about when oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land. The Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. It's directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Eric Roth, Martin Scorsese, and David Gran. So it's based off a book.
So, as a part of this podcast, 1/3 of it is that synopsis that you just heard, and the second third is sort of like our highlights, our takeaways from the film, and what we got from it. And so, for me, I really, really enjoyed the notion that this is a true story. It is based off a book, as Brian said, but this is a real life event. This actually occurred. These are real life people, and so I like that Martin chose to try to bring this story to life in a way that kind of highlights what happened to these people.
Yeah, yeah. I this was a chore to watch. Uh, but a takeaway is that it's all about the acting with this movie. The performances were really good from Leo, from Robert. I mean, really all around. It's just it's long winded. It's like
Yeah,
3 hours 27 minutes, so it's long
yeah,
winded. But just for the filmmakers out there, this movie is a good example of art tourism, but knowing when to be an auteur and knowing when to continue to be an auteur and when to not be an auteur. And this was a situation where it does not feel like a Martin Scorsese film. Now there are little bitty flashes of like violence. There's little flashes of his style, but for the
yeah,
most part, it's missing. And I think some viewers are going to want that.
yeah,
They're going to want that unique Martin Scorsese auteur feel. And so
yeah,
that's just something to consider whenever you're watching this. Winter times you need to where it's good to step out of your auteur box, because that is a box. You have a certain style, so you are kind of putting yourself in a box.
hmm,
But and then when you should stick to your guns and what you're good at with a style that you're familiar with instead of experimenting. I don't think this was the movie to do that. But this is a great film
yeah,
to watch, to see, and to judge for yourself. When to be an auteur, when not to be an auteur, when to put your style, your fingerprint on something, and when to just let things with the story unravel naturally without you injecting yourself.
yeah, yeah. For me, this film was not it. I think every director has their day, and
Mhm.
not every film is gonna be your greatest work. In my opinion, this was not Martin's greatest work. It lacked focus. This film lacked a lot of focus, and I had to do a little bit of research into it because there were a lot of things that were missing for me after the end of the film. So you kind of go through the film, and I like when the director allows the audience to think for themselves, to kind of put together certain pieces. But here, I
Mhm.
think he left us hanging in a way that didn't lend itself to the story. I found myself with several questions at the end as to why were these Osage women continuously marrying white men? What was going on with that? Why was this a community, solely of the Osage people and just Caucasian people? Why was it such a mystery as to why only the Osage people were passing away and none of the white men, so in women, so there were just a lot of questions. And then my research, I discovered that this film was actually rewritten. So they wrote it.
Mhm.
It was geared too much toward the main actors, Leo and Robert De Niro, and so they rewrote it, trying to put focus back on the Osage people. And I still think they failed at that. The focus is just not where it needed to be. We spent way too much time on the wrong characters, and I think that there was a great moment where the Osage women were having this like private conversation, and you got to kind of see what their chemistry could have been if it would have been showcased longer in the film.
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, it was a missed mark.
Yeah, you're right. It leaned more too much to being from Ernest, the main character, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, the Ernest character. It's really from his lens.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you end up feeling, I mean, kind of sorry, not really kind of sorry, but you end up kind of like, just we spend too much time with Ernest
Yeah.
when, like you said, we should have spent more time with the tribe and the people of the
And
tribe.
and to play devil's advocate, like the name of the film is like The Killers
Hmm.
of the Flower Moon. And so you would think, okay, we're going to be spending time on the killers. But to hear that they rewrote the script because it already was showing that it was too focused on Ernest and the uncle,
Yeah.
and they were trying to put focus back on the people, it's like, how do you rewrite it and still miss that? Like it just still was missing for me. So yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah,
I
just
don't know. I
a
think this is a
misportrayal.
situation where it was maybe too many cooks in the kitchen and people wanting to please certain groups, certain sectors of viewers of this film,
Yeah.
and it's just too much because it's really too much. I had audience members whenever I watched it, they just left. They left like an hour and 25 minutes into the movie
Wow.
saying that
Wow.
like the guy was talking about, Marty just doesn't know how to make a short film. I was like, yeah, he doesn't, but it's like,
Yeah.
this one was just, it's a slow moving thing.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
sadly it kind of felt like he just didn't know how to put or his maybe his method of trying to put the focus on the Osage people, it just lacked heart. Like I saw a review with him, and he was saying how certain parts of the film were just unscripted, like the particular scene where the Osage
Oh
leader is
my,
talking, and he's
oh
talking for about 15 minutes, and he was like, he just thought it was so beautiful, and so he just wanted to capture it, and it was off the cuff. And like I remember being in the theater being like, there's no way that this is scripted, there's absolutely no
yeah.
way. I could tell by the way he was delivering the lines.
It's like he's not an
it,
actor. This person is not an actor.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, it's just like you could tell he was kind of rambling in the film, but what
Mhm.
Martin thought was like this breathtaking moment of giving homage to the people, it was just like, nah man, that is not it. That's not how you do it. I don't know. I know he's been doing this a long time, but I can say he missed the mark on this. That's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Uh
so what's your rating?
yeah. So as a part of this new podcast, we're doing a rating system for the films. It's going to be either theater, you should definitely go see it in theater, you should own it, you should rent it, stream it, or just skip it altogether. And for me, this is a stream it. Stream it when you're at home, when you can be on your couch, or you can take bathroom breaks and come back, watch an hour, maybe watch another hour another day. I don't think you should I don't think it's a must see in theater picture for me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
wait for it to be streaming.
Stream for free for me. Yeah, just unless you're like a true like Martin Scorsese fan or like a cinephile, it's like, and you just have to watch it in the theaters, I say go for it. But yeah, stream this one for free.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.